Alright, today we're going to learn how to basically take a piece of square stock and CNC it into a ring shape for a necklace or of sorts. So basically we started off in Inventor and we have our model. I've already created this. In terms of creation, we're using 2" by 2" as you can see on the screen, square, and then extruding that square 0.75, and somewhere right around there is fine. 3/4 to an inch would be fine. From there, I went ahead and created a cut. I made the circles 1.5" by 1", and then I extruded those down to a distance of 0.25. If I were to do that again, I would actually probably recommend taking that just a little bit further. It'll make it a little bit easier to clean it up. So I'm going to take it to 0.375. So that's your ring, and you're ready to rock and roll on the next step. So we'll switch over to the cam environment, and we're going to go to a setup. And by having the square stock first, that allows us to, pick our coordinate system a little bit easier. Is just something I like. So we're not going to add any stock to size, and your screen might look a little different from this, but you get the drift. I'm going to pick this upper left-hand corner. We've done this before in previous videos. Z-axis first needs to go this way, straight up and down. Okay. X-axis needs to go left to right, so I'm going to select this edge. And now I have the X going this way, the Y going this way. So if I think about the right-hand rule, I'm good to go. So I'm going to hit OK. So I got that place. Life is good there. Top of the part. From here, I have to have a series of Toolpaths. On my screen, looks a little different than yours, but I'll start off with a tool, 2D contour, and a tool. I've already created some tools right here. Again, you should probably already know how to do that, but if you don't, I'm using tool number 13, which is a 1/4 inch flat end mill, 5,000 RPMs, 10 for the feed rate, which switches to 3.3 as default, which is fine. Remember that this 13 stays the same there, and the cutter is 1/4 inch. Just a normal end mill. Tool data cannot be changed. That's fine. All right, so I have my tool. I am going to select that tool number 13 first. I'm going to do the inside, then I'm going to do the outside. Come over here. First thing I want to do is, as far as a contour selection, I'm going to go ahead and go all the way down there because I want it to travel on the inside. Then I also want it to travel on the outside. If I look at that, that is the 1/4 inch tool. This is the max outside area of the tool, so I'm not going to hit anything, even though I'll be sticking above the vise. I won't have to worry about that with that particular tool. I'll come over here. I need to set my bottom height, and again, I could select absolute, or I'm going to show you one other thing that says selection, and this works. Just got to be careful with it. I like it, but I'm going to go to the bottom of that ridge right there. When I click that, it pops it down and says -0.375. And that's what I put in, if you remember, on that extrusion, so that's what I want. One more tab over because we got a lot of material to take away. We can't do this all at once. We're going to click multiple depths, and I just leave this as is. I think it's 0.04, 0.008. I don't change anything on that. I just keep it just like that and hit OK. And that's going to create the toolpath to come around, do this part, come around, do that part. That'll be in a ring. Obviously, it's not going to come off because it's still held down to the bottom. That's why we're using that extra material. So that's that part. Next comes up, we're going to go ahead and do the engraving of the letters. So from here, I'll go to 2D contour again. This time, I'm going to need a different tool. Again, for the most part, I'm just going to take this thing real quick. I had tool 19 in here, and that's the tool you want, but I had it set up differently. So just see if I can change that real quick. Oops. Edit. I'll change this one. This is the one we have been using. Tool 19. This 5,000. Let's 10's good. That's good. So use 10, 3.3 as a default, and make sure. For me, I put my cutter at 0.001. Again, we're just doing that to lie to it. That's not the real diameter, but we want it to post the toolpath correctly. So we'll hit OK. Tools can be undone. So that's tool number 19. That tool select. Perfect. All right, got it. There it is. Come over to here. In this case, I'm going to zoom in. That's the scroll wheel on the mouse. And I'm just going to come through, and it is important to make sure and select, if you're doing the top of the surface instead of the bottom, I usually select the top anywhere in there. Just do the outside. So like, you know, you might want to do this inside, but you can't select it. That's okay. I'll show you a trick. Come around to the outsides of all those things. Make sure it's solid color and not the other thing. Okay. You're going to, you know, if you can't do it, you might have to move your screen around a little bit. Sometimes it takes a second too, I've noticed, to select those things. But, all right, you get the drift. I'm only going to do that much because it makes sense to you. So come over to this thing, bottom height. Again, I like to use origin on this so I can type a number in. Negative 0.015 is what I did. You can look at my sample model and think if you want to do that or just a little bit less, that's up to you. It is only one pass, so I can just hit OK. That contour is done, creates those toolpaths. You can see them. It puts the blue outlines. Life is good. Okay. Don't forget, you need to go back and you want to clean those other letters up. So all we're going to do is make another 2D contour, select the same tools there, and now on this time, it'll allow you to come in and just select the inside parts that you couldn't get before. Okay, so say we went around and we did the rest of those things. Again, we come down here to origin, negative 0.015, hit OK, and that'll create those toolpaths. So I have 3 different toolpaths. That's good. See how that's highlighted? Remember, I want to go up to the top if I want to simulate all of them, and I do. So I'll go to simulate right there. Stock is checked so I can see everything. Hit, excuse me, play. That puppy's going to go. We'll make it go a little faster in the interest of your time. You can see how it goes in. It cuts in a little bit. That's okay because that's scrap right in here. No big deal. There's your passes. That's awesome. Rock and roll. So if you can see, actually, this will cut a little bit out there, won't it? So we definitely want to make sure this part is sticking at least 3/8 of an inch above the part. So that's important to us. Otherwise, it'll come into the vice jaws. Don't worry about that red. It's because I didn't set the tools up. But we're good. Make sense? Love it. And if that's the case, then as usual, we can close that window. If you like everything, click that top button right there. Go to post-process. Select your HOS. Call it whatever you want. Post it. Save it. I'll replace it because that's all good. And you're in here. Always check the backplot. This little video goes out to my man Ben. So always check the backplot to make sure by hitting the arrow key it does what you want it to do, and more importantly, you can see that it does go around your letters all the way. If it doesn't, you can always go back and repost it. If not, a simple save as, put it on your flash drive, bring it out to the machine, set your machine up, and make it happen. Kind of a long video, but Cole Bog wanted every step. He got it. So keep it real. Good luck. Happy CNCing.